Good evening. My name is Annie Wilson. I'm the Programming Supervisor with the FirstOntario Performing Arts Centre. We here at the Performing Arts Centre care deeply about our community and work very hard to support the good work that's being done by our neighbours in the local social service and arts sector. Tonight, we have partnered with Positive Living Niagara to support the World AIDS Day Vigil as part of HIV/AIDS Awareness Week. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Let's begin the show.
Welcome to our World AIDS Day Vigil. Before we begin, we would like to acknowledge the land upon which we gather as the shared traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabe peoples, protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt. This historic peace agreement between the Iroquois Confederacy, the Ojibwe, and allied nations represents a commitment to share and protect the land, water, plants, and animals with respect. We wish to honor the original peoples of this land and express gratitude for the opportunity and privilege to work with communities across this territory. We at Positive Living Niagara believe in diversity and inclusivity. We commit to a culture of inclusion. We add our voice to the call for change. Racial equality matters. Upholding basic human rights matters. Doing what is right matters. Black lives matter today and always. We stand in solidarity.
We can go on pretending day by day that someone somewhere will soon make a change. We are all a part of God's great big family, and the truth, love is all we need. We are the world, we are the children, we are the ones who make a brighter day, so let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're changing our own.
Our theme for the vigil this year is We Are the World. You're probably familiar with this song by Michael Jackson, sung by multiple artists to raise awareness for HIV/AIDS in Africa in 1985. So why do we make this the theme of a vigil in Canada 35 years after the song was released? We know that the face of HIV has changed a lot in 35 years. We rarely even hear the term AIDS anymore due to the development of highly successful medications. No longer are we losing friends every day to this virus, as HIV is no longer the death sentence it once was. We've come a long, long way, but there's one thing that hasn't quite come far enough: HIV stigma. HIV stigma is still with us today, and many people still live with the fear of being outed to friends, family, and their community. HIV affects people all over the world, rich or poor, of all colors, young and old, and with each of these groups and cultures, stigma rears its ugly head in various ways, but it's always harmful. We must look across all our divides and biases to realize that we're in this fight against stigma together, and it's the only way to eradicate stigma that affects everyone living with HIV in one way or another. We are all in this together, and as the song said in 1985, change can only come when we stand together as one. So that's why We Are the World is our theme for tonight. The words are important now as they were then. Thank you, and please take a minute to remember the people who've gone before us, currently living with HIV, and those who will be impacted in the future by HIV.
Hello, I'm here to share a little bit about my experience as a heterosexual male who has HIV. I was diagnosed roughly 15 years ago, but it's probably been in the last 3 or 4 years that I've been dealing with this diagnosis in a more healthier manner. When I first got diagnosed, it was very traumatic for me. I knew nothing about HIV. Like a lot of people out there, I believed that it was a death sentence. I didn't really know how I could pass it on, so I was scared to touch people I was afraid to be around people. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't even ride the bus just in case I bumped into somebody. It wasn't until I was positive for a couple of years that I finally met up with a very good psychologist and an HIV doctor that explained to me how I could pass on HIV. I've had a lot of stigma being positive, especially as a straight male. When people hear that I'm positive, they usually assume that I'm gay. So with a lot of stigma, I've been kicked out of apartments when people found out I was positive. I've gone to doctors and dentists, and they have refused to treat me, or they have left the room and come back in like a hazmat suit almost. And like I said, I usually have a smile on my face, but deep down it, makes me feel dirty. Since I found out I was positive, I've really been, I suffer from addiction, and even to this day, it's very difficult. I'm usually a funny one. I'm a clown. When I'm around people, I try to put a smile on my face, but, if they really knew how I felt and stuff, it would, I just don't want to be a depressive person. I haven't had a girlfriend, really, since I've been positive. It's very difficult. I don't know how I would tell somebody that I'm positive. That's one of the things that I struggle with the most. My self-esteem, being with girls. Because, to be honest, I'm a pretty lonely person when because just of the stigma. And I really don't know who I can tell, who I can trust. I've been very fortunate to hook up with Positive Living. They've really helped me a lot. I certainly wouldn't be doing this video a few years ago because I was embarrassed. I was ashamed. And at times, I guess I still am. And when those moments happen, I turn to the drink or I turn to drugs. It's, I don't know, it's pretty much all I really got to say.
There's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, and above us only sky. Imagine all the people kneeling for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. No religion, no religion, no religion to, yeah. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer. Well, I'm not the only one. Hope someday you join us in the world gonna live on, yeah. Imagine no possessions. Well, I wonder if you can. No need for greed, no need for hunger. Brotherhood is all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer. Well, I'm not the only one. Hope someday you'll come and join us, yeah, in the world. Gonna live as one, yeah. Just imagine, people imagine, just imagine. I hope someday you'll come and join us in the world. Gonna live as one, yeah, you and me. We're gonna live as one.
Higher, baby, than any mountain. Deeper than the deepest sea. Oh yeah. I want you to hold me. Oh, darling, my darling, baby, eternally. Oh, yeah.
Oh, hello, long-term survivor here. Well, it's been over 30 years and I'm still here. Yay! I've worn a bit of a disguise as I feel that although being HIV seems to be a little more accepted, I know people still just don't understand. Maybe if I take this disguise off, I'll feel so much better. There. Oh. As a long-term survivor, I think stigma is still there. People are still being infected every day. Except in my day, we could mark on the calendar how long we would live. Do I have survivor's guilt? Somewhat. I am more saddened by the loss of many friends. Unfortunately, people are still dying from this disease, but a lot of us are living a lot longer. And it's not the death sentence that they gave me. In the old days, it was up front and center when someone was diagnosed, as they fell ill and left us. Does this sound depressing? Well, it was. I just want to remind people that many of the long-term survivors were there on the onset of this pandemic. And I don't mean COVID. We fought for the drugs and the research monies. I'm hoping this generation can continue to battle in this world of PrEP and easy access to testing. There is little reason for the amount of people still testing positive for HIV. Get tested, get on PrEP, and play safe. This has been a message from your long-term survivor puppet. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Hello, my name is Mutsa Charamba, and I am the African, Caribbean, and Black Education and Support Coordinator here at Positive Living Niagara. With my role, I mainly deal with the Black community. And so a big issue within the Black community is the stigma that a lot of Black, African, and Caribbean people face. So with this stigma, it makes it so people are not comfortable coming out and sharing their stories. There are many people that are living with HIV within this community, but they're not open to sharing because of the stigma. So today I will be reading a statement from a client just so she can share a little bit of her experience being an African woman living with HIV. When I tested HIV positive, that was about 32 years ago. People, including me, did not differentiate between HIV and AIDS. So the word went around that I had AIDS. By then, testing HIV positive in a nutshell was a death sentence. Moreover, it was not death with dignity, but rather an indignified, disrespected death that many would rather not associate with. When I did not die with the grace period, which was 6 months, according to the one who disclosed to me, I did not know it would affect me for the rest of my life. It was kind of like people forgot I had a life before, and I only became a subject of after. That now with studying HIV affected me almost in all aspects of my life, socially, economically, and culturally. Socially, all my friends and people who had been close fled. And as much as I accepted my HIV status, I realized it is not all that was comfortable with me. So those who had the same condition as me, we had to have a specific friendship. For instance, if we met in the streets, I would not say hello, because if I did, that would be interpreted as that person also was HIV positive. So that would make their status public. So we would always have to be discreet wherever we met. In another painful experience, I was restrained from attending the funeral of a very close friend just because of the stigma. Economically, I had to restrain myself to work in only HIV-related fields. One reason is that for one to work, one had to go for medical checkups, and the few times I had tried, despite passing interviews, the employer would decline the last minute without any explanation. Culturally, I had to fit and belong. Of course, I could not have children at the right age because I did not want them to die and further break my heart. People don't understand when you live without a partner because you must disclose your status as you get to know each other. This reduces the chances of finding somebody, and essentially you end up being alone for a long time. However, it hasn't all been bad. I have met great people. Men and women have offered me their shoulders to cry on or to see far, and am indebted to them forever. I would want to conclude, despite the challenges, HIV has never touched my humanity and compassion for serving humanity, because I believe we can make this world better and safe for our children than what we found it. Stigma and discrimination remain high-profile challenges, and it is worse than AIDS itself. 32 years later, and I am still dealing with stigma. Have a non-stigmatized day.
There comes a time when we heed a certain call, when the world must come together as one. We are people trying, and we're going to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. We can't go on pretending day by day that someone somewhere may soon make a change. We are all part of God's great big family, and the truth, you know, love is all we need. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones that make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we make a better day, just you and me.
A vigil is more than remembering, more than grieving and loss. A vigil is unity, love and hope, and honoring those who have crossed, allies, strangers, and friends. The light in us shines bright when we stand together as one. Hope lights up the night.
Ani Bojo, Nicole Dishnikaz, Fort Erie Donjba. Hello, my name is Nicole. I'm from Fort Erie. Thank you so much for spending World AIDS Day here online. I wanted to give a Chimagwech a big thank you to the staff here at Positive Living Niagara and the volunteers. With their time, their effort, their passion, they really made today absolutely amazing. So thank you so much. World AIDS Day is also the first day of Aboriginal AIDS Awareness Week. And in Canada, about 20% of all new HIV cases are within the Indigenous communities. The main way that HIV is transmitted in Indigenous communities is through sharing of drug equipment. So remember that if you are using, to use new sterile equipment each and every time that you use to help reduce the spread of HIV and other bloodborne illnesses. There are many organizations in Niagara to help Indigenous people if they do have HIV. There's of course Positive Living Niagara. Then you have the two friendship centers, the one in Fort Erie, the one in Niagara on the lake. And then you also have Daidwada Desne, which is the Aboriginal Health Center. To start off Aboriginal AIDS Awareness Week, we're going to have a drumming and a singing done by the Butterfly Spirit Drumming Group. This group was started in 2017 and has performed in a lot of different events, including the Folk Arts Multicultural Days, Women and Youth Gatherings, and the Celebration of Nations here in St. Catharines. With a vision of peace, love, and unity between all peoples, creeds, religions, and nations, they sing and dance for us today in celebration and in remembrance of those we have lost and those living with HIV today. So without further ado, I would like to welcome the Butterfly Spirit Drumming Group.
Hi, my name is Josie and I am part of Butterfly Spirit Drummers. We have Ryan and Tina with us today and we were pleased to drum for Positive Living, and we are honored to close the week with our healing song by the Mi'kmaq people. So we send lots of loving, healing energy to you and the world. Thank you.